The way that people pick their partners a lot of the times is one, how attractive they are, and two, whether or not they want a relationship with us, right? And don't get me wrong, that's fine. That's like a general thing, right? But the problem is that that's a limited way of testing people, of looking for traits in this person. A lot of the times we just want somebody who looks good and treats us nice. But what happens is that when we find somebody who's physically attractive or somebody who we really like and feel infatuated, we assume that's all we need. And a part of us are hoping that they could pass the test. A part of us don't want them to show any negative signs, any red flags, because we didn't want to let them go. And so you can understand why people stay in bad relationships, because some people just have shitty criterias. Some people don't know how to test people. People tell you who they are. And the problem is that when you like someone or you have a sense of low self-esteem, we stop observing the person and we stop judging them based on the actions, and we just start judging them based on how they look, and we develop what they call a halo effect, where they're good looking, and so because of that, our brain creates a bias where you only focus on the positive traits about them and you ignore the negative. And this creates a disconnection from reality that causes you to be in situations where you're not happy, the person is using you, you're getting played, but a part of you doesn't want to leave because you're already attached. You got to learn how to test people, because people are not going to show you their flaws initially. They're just not, because why would they? People only show you the representative that they show out into the world. But the more you get to know them, the more you'll see these things. And for me, it's more important to understand their flaws. It's more important to understand their dark nature more than their good nature, because understanding their dark side will reveal to you more about who they are than understanding the thing that they put out into the world, that they donated money to charity. That's all. That's usually, a lot of the times, those are virtue signaling. Their dark side that comes out in an indirect way is more of an indicative. So how do you understand their dark side? For example, what the easiest way, not the easiest way, but the most direct way to find a person's dark side is through their kinks, sexual kinks, right? For example, I knew this one girl who was, I swear to God, she was like, do me with a, she was like, bag me with a gun in my head. I'm like, what the fuck? What? She's like, yeah. And then she was like, I was like, I'm not doing that. She was like, okay, how about with a fake knife and with a clown hat? I'm like, a clown hat? A clown? What the fuck? Right? But that, obviously you don't judge them for it, but it is a reflection of something deeper, right? It says something. It says a lot about your history. It says a lot about your sense of control. Your kinks is not something that you should use to judge people, but it's something to understand, because your kinks is such a deep reflection of your dark nature that it's power related. It's completely power related. So observe their kinks, not to judge them, but to use their kinks, what they like and don't like, as a way to contextualize their outside behavior, to see whether or not it makes sense using those two things. And the reason why that is with your kinks, it says about you, is because it's an expression of desire and fantasies, unconscious desires. Sexual fantasies and preferences often stem from deep desires and impulses buried within the subconscious mind, reflecting hidden facets of their psyche. And these facets may not be aware of it themselves, because they don't notice how it leaks so much out so much about their character. But if you're actually paying attention, you could tell. For example, like, I personally, I don't like to judge people, but like a lot of porn stars, a lot of them, unfortunately were touched the wrong way when they were kids. And so you see this hypersexuality and willingness to be on camera and for the public to see it, usually comes a lot of the times because of that, of the past, right? So when you see that, you don't just judge everyone and say, oh, look, this person got, taken advantage of. But that it's such, it says so much about them. That's all I gotta say, man. And another thing is that it has symbolic meaning. Kinks can symbolize psychological needs, fears, or past experiences that manifest in the realm of sexuality as a way to express or cope with underlying emotion. And then also your kinks talk about your role of power dynamics. You know, dominance and submissive dynamics in kinks may reflect one's relationship with power, control, autonomy, vulnerability, and authority, and it expresses their psychological needs, right? So that's one thing, right? That's why like kinks will tell you so much about their dark side. Other things is observing who they hate feverishly, and observing who they're jealous about. Well, usually they don't reveal to you who they're jealous about, but they do indirectly reveal it to you through the people who they hate, you know, through the celebrities that they criticize, through the celebrities that they hate the most, through the politicians that they hate the most, right? So other ways is observing what are the things that they don't joke about. What are the things that they're willing to joke about, and the things that are like the no-nos, right? All of those things tell you about them, tell you about their belief about themselves and about the hidden desires that they have. Other ways is unusual preferences and tendencies, hidden desires, unconventional or taboo preferences in intimate relationships or personal fantasies may suggest a deeper desire or inclination that they keep private. So you have to take everything and understand that everything is a sign. Even the type of relationships that the person wants is a sign of their character. Don't say, "Oh, this person wants an open relationship," and just say they just want an open relationship. You got to realize that it says something about them. And if you just take that as a fact and not as a link to understand them deeper, you're going to miss out on all of this. And the problem is that people see the facts about people as things that really don't reveal deeper nature. A lot of us don't actively try to connect the dots. What you want to be able to do, like an investigator who puts all of the evidence up in the whiteboard and you step back and look at all of the evidence, you want to be able to not disregard anything they give you. Everything says something about them. Pay attention, right? And another thing that you could do is, like I said, what are the things that they're willing to joke about? Another thing is observe. This is actually a really good thing. If they have a dark sense of humor, that is a reflection that they can control their emotions. Studies show that people not control their emotions, but they can process trauma a little bit better. People who have a dark sense of humor, who could laugh about really dark things, usually are less aggressive and are able to regulate their emotions better, because they're able to laugh at something that's very difficult to laugh not at, but like, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Observing their dark side. And this is something that people will always leak signs of their darkness. You know, people want to show themselves to other humans, but a lot of them feel ashamed. So, you know, one of the things you'll notice is that if you're meeting someone, you know you're never going to see them again, a lot of the times they'll tell you things about them and they'll tell you secrets. And the reason why is because people have a need to show people who they are. And so we're so tired of hiding our dark side that we just leak it out without even noticing. We leak out parts of our personality without even being aware of it. And that's what you have to watch out for. Pay attention to those involuntary leaks of their darkness. If you don't pay attention, that's on you, man. You know, and like one thing that's really that I notice a lot is like the guys that are controlling, who try to control their girls, and even the girls who try to control their man because out of safety, or because, you know, they want to know where you're at. Where the real reason why is because they're controlling. They have a controlling dark side about them. And they hide that controlling dark side with the air of, I'm just doing it to take care of you. Impulse control. You have to test the person's impulse control, or at least observe the person's impulse control. And this is why. A person with a low impulse control, who has no control over their desire, is going to lead a less successful life, is going to earn less, it's going to make more bad financial decisions, they're going to have more debt. Those types of people will drag you down. If you're somebody who has impulse control, dating someone who has no impulse control could potentially that trait can potentially be infected in you. So how do you notice this person has low impulse control? One, you notice it with money. Money is money has an emotional factor to it. It's not just monetary. People who have a low impulse always have debt. They always have debt. I'm not talking about like good debt, you know. I'm talking about bad debt where they max their credit cards out. And a lot of the times, these people who have low impulse control, they don't tell you that. They don't tell you about the debt. They don't tell you about how much their lack of control causes problems because they're ashamed of it. You know, like a lot of the times, people who can't control their impulses, they're ashamed at the fact that they can't control it. So they try to hide how they actually are. And these types of people will cheat more. They will they not cheat more. My fault. I'm losing my train of thought. They will be more in debt. They will have more criminal records. Those are the types of people who have no patience, where they look for shortcuts. So a lot of those people might turn to crime, or maybe have scammed people in the past, or maybe they have so much desire to gain something without patience that, like I said, they just end up doing criminal type of stuff, Bronx type of shit. People, okay. So impulse control is very important, and you'll notice it. Other signs is that they're addicted to things, right? They have a lot of drug addictions. They gamble. They're thrill seekers. They're adrenaline junkies. Yeah, people. Look, those people make great friends. They make great friends with benefits, but long-term partners, it may not work out, because those people they are chasing a high. Right? When you have low impulse control, you naturally atrophy to seeking the high, seeking the dragon. In other words, when you can't control your emotions, you're not at peace with being at peace. It's not something that you can achieve. So the only thing those types of people can achieve is highs and lows. And if they're just living their life without you, that's fine. But with you as their partner, that could ruin you. That could completely ruin you, man. So that's one thing. Impulse control. Test that. Observe that. You could easily observe a person's impulse control over time by just observing how much they're able to, how much they delay gratification, how long they could wait, whether or not they can set a plan and follow it through without skipping steps. Are they focused on detail, or are they generalists and they don't like the details? All of those things, like being detailed oriented, requires a certain level of focus and impulse control. Being able to think long term and plan it out and execute it takes impulse control. And we could see how that's one trait you have to test in a person. You have to. The next one, conflict resolution. How they handle conflict. How they handle conflict is a reflection of their ego, of their self-esteem, of how they could take criticism. So it's not just solving problems, but it's also solving problems when you're the problem, right? So it's very easy to solve other people's problems, but it's not easy when we have to admit that we are the problem in a group of people. So you'll notice it by when you criticize them, you'll notice that they can't handle criticism. That's one thing. Right? They cannot handle criticism, or they're very jealous, very jealous people. And so you praising other people, they want the attention back at them. So you can also say that these people are very self-absorbed. And also when you're dating people, you're going to end up having disagreements. That's just life, right? And these types of people don't like disagreement. The problem with these people is that they usually put on a front in the beginning. They act like they're very self-aware and stuff like that. But this mask tends to slip the more they know you. The more they know you, the more comfortable they get with being who they are, right? And what you'll notice is that these are very stubborn people. They don't like taking criticism. They love criticizing you, but they don't like receiving the criticism. So that the ability to take criticism, to communicate and have tough conversations, are things you have to test out. And the way you test it out is that as you're dating them, you have those tough conversations. You are honest about the things that they're doing that maybe you want to see changed, but also you are also honest with them when they have things that they want to change in you, right? So you see, like that's their problem, right? That people who are not good at this love to solve other people's problems, but they don't like when their fingers pointed at them, right? So it's very important to criticize your partners when it's necessary in the beginning, right? Because it'll reveal to you a part of their personality, right? Do they start gaslighting you? Do they start being manipulative, right? Do they start getting defensive, angry, or attacking your character just because you're pointing out a flaw, right? Those types of people you shouldn't really entertain. If you start seeing resistance at your criticism about them, you should walk away. The next one is emotional intelligence. You have to test the person's emotional intelligence. So how do you do that? Well, you observe them, right? Pay attention to how they interact with others, handle conflict, and respond to different emotions. Notice their empathy, communication style, and emotional regulation in various situations. Do they let their emotions control them? Do they do things that they regret and keep repeating that pattern? Do they not have the capacity to feel angry and become aware of their anger and sit down until they're simmered down? Do they have that space between themselves and their reaction? Or are they have low emotional intelligence where they start punching people just because they got them mad? Where an example would be where you pissed off your ex and now she's taking a kid from you out of vengeance. Jesus Christ, people. That's crazy stuff, man. People with low emotional intelligence will make you into an emotional, I was going to say emotional, R word, not racist, an emotional, but you're just going to be emotionally, developmentally slow, per se. Because you have no ability to self-reflect. You have no ability to understand what you're feeling and control it. That's how people end up abusing their partners, beating them up, taking advantage. So look at them when they're late to their flight. How do they react? Look at them when they get news that they have no control over. How do they react? Right? Look at them when things don't go their way. Pay closer attention during times of crisis. People with high emotional intelligence are able to feel intense emotions and have the awareness to cool down and to step aside. They have the awareness to let cool heads prevail. People with low emotional intelligence have no space. They're always telling their girlfriends to hold my ears, hold my ring. They're always saying, I'll be back. I'm gonna go to the back of my truck to get something. And then they're the ones that are always arguing. They're the ones that always trying to win the battle but lose the war. And you'll be able to see this person's emotional intelligence. If when they miss their flight, do they get so angry they start yelling at the lady in the flight center? When the order is wrong, does he get mad at the waitress or suddenly starts acting condescending? Right? When somebody insults them, do they take it personal, or are they able to understand and sense that it's not personal? Do they suffer from black and white thinking where it's either you're wrong or you're right? Where you're either on my side or you're of the devil's side, where there's no nuanced, right? Those types of people who think black and white thinking, who have no self-awareness of how other people feel in relation to them, are horrible people to be around, and they're going to dehumanize people. They have a sense of superiority for people who are not like them, right? Or for example, these types of people are the people that if you insult them, they'll never forget it. They're highly sensitive people, victims, people who cannot see how they are the ones causing the problem, right? People who have no emotional intelligence are a headache to be around. Headache, because they love to blame you, but don't like to see how they're the problem. They have low self-awareness. But they love being aware of other people's problems, right? Observe how they treat those below them. Observe how they make everything about them, how they personalize everything, how everything is about me, right? one of the things about self-aware people who have emotional intelligence is that they understand that a lot of the things that happen isn't personal, right? They understand that a lot of the negativities that happen in our lives isn't a personal attack on us, right? So you got to watch out for people who have no emotional intelligence, because honestly, people with no emotional intelligence cannot control their emotions. They just can't. They are toxic to be around. And if you get in a relationship with someone like this, it's very difficult to leave. But this is why you want to be able to test them before you date them. Observe how they talk about their failed relationships. If the person is always talking crap about their exes, if they keep telling you stories, and for some odd reason they're always the protagonist, for some odd reason they never do wrong, most likely it's a pattern. Most likely those people just never take responsibility. People, you got to be able to test whether or not this person can take personal accountability for their mistakes, because those types of people are a complete nightmare to be with. People who never take the blame, people who don't compromise, people who say you got to apologize, but I don't. Vindictive motherfuckers, you got to stay away from those people, and you have to test it. Me, whenever I meet someone, and you know, when they're always telling me stories, and for some reason they just have the worst life, they're always the victim, they never do wrong, I get a little suspicious of you. That's just. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Last thing is testing whether or not they like you. And how do you test it? It's very simple. If they like you, it's obvious. If they don't like you, you either feel confused, you feel insecure, or you feel like you got to make more effort. Like literally, you think there's something wrong with them. When they like you, it's very obvious. I am telling you, when somebody likes you, it comes with a sense of validation. It doesn't come with a sense of insecurity. It doesn't make you Google whether or not they like you. There is an undeniable sensation that this person likes me back when they actually like you, because humans have a certain pattern of behavior and facial expressions when they like you. Those are when they see you, their face gets lit up. They're not like that. Hey, how are you? Literally, honestly, hey, how are you? I'm telling you, man. They respond on time. They respond fast. Like consistently. When somebody likes you, they respond fast. Don't let motherfuckers tell you that some people just are bad texters. No, they're bad texters to everyone. But when they like you, it's a compulsion. Don't let them lie to you. When somebody likes you, even my blind evil granny can tell that. And by the way, she's cool. I'm not talking bad about her, right? She is evil though, but she's cute. My granny is the funniest woman I've ever met in my life. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. She's evil, but my God, is she hilarious. Anyways, like everyone could tell. So if the person's behavior is making you question whether or not they like you, I would not pursue them, because I believe us as humans have a certain instinct that tells us that they like us. We all know how that is. And the reason why is because when we don't like someone and they like us back, it's pretty obvious, right? It's so obvious. They look at you more. They sit closer to you. They try to talk more. They text more. It's just more energy, right? So assess this not by behavior, but by behavior, but also by sensation. If you're not 100% sure if they like you, I would not pursue that. But if they're making you feel like, well, I don't know if they like me, it's most likely you're catching on to something that your conscious mind might not be aware, because we can sense the energy shift. It's almost like when we date someone and we can sense that they're losing interest and we don't know why, right? It's an energy shift. We could sense that energy. We could sense when somebody likes us. As socially inept you might be, you could kind of sense when somebody likes you. But when you like someone and they don't like you back, it gets hard to tell, because we don't know whether or not we're seeing things through rose-tinted glasses or we're really seeing things. And the way to test that, like I always say, just go after those who make it obvious. I'm telling you, man. If they don't make it obvious, don't pursue it. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to Mindful Attraction. There you could order email coaching sessions where I answer the questions in my Pillow Talk Hour videos on YouTube, right? The email questions are published. But again, those are are people usually change up the things in the questions and nobody finds out it's them. But if you want a private call, a private session, you guys can book a one-on-one private call. I don't know why. When a lot of people ask me if the email questions are private, and I'm like, no, it says YouTube questions. I don't know, man. Anyways, take it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys ever want to learn how to use your feminine energy to influence people, learn how to use your masculine energy to become more assertive, and also learn how to blend both energies to improve your dating life, your spiritual life, honestly, your relationship life, your family life, your career life, this is the course for you. If I had to make a course for my nieces, I have two nieces, one is 19 and one is 15. 16. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's a bad fucking uncle. He's a bad uncle. Get him. Shut up, Melissa. You should get this course, right? And this is the course that I will make for them. So, for example, watch the curriculum, right? In the first week, we're going to be showing you how to establish a strong masculine foundation without letting it hurt your feminine energy. This masculine foundation is a source of who you are, right? It's your bodyguard. Without this, whatever feminine energy you create will be destroyed by the outside, because your masculine is your shield. So we'll talk about goal setting. We'll talk about how to develop a serious attitude. We're gonna be talking about how to use more logic, how to use more goal-oriented behavior. It's more how to be a man, Now the next one is how to embrace the feminine energy, right? This one will teach you about how to minimize excessive masculine traits, developing self-awareness, healing abundant feminine energy, regulating your emotion, mastering voice qualities and facial expressions, surrendering control, and allowing pain to be felt. This is honestly, this will supercharge, like Kaioken, your masculine energy. After that, we have femininity in the workplace and how to be feminine in the workplace without letting people take advantage of you, and the nuances of how women of power should behave versus women who are subordinates in the workplace, and even the dress code. This is based on psychology, people. It's kind of insane. I'm actually excited about this one. The next week, we talk about navigating the labyrinth of male and female friendship. And this, a lot of women find confusing, so we talk about that. And how to identify envious friends, how to identify the good friends, how to keep male friends, and how to keep female friends. Week 5, we talk about how to release the burden of the past and stop and destroy mental projections. This is actually really powerful. And then week 6, we talk about how to increase your observational power so that you could read people better. And we have a bunch of bonuses. The course starts at $99, and you guys can pre-order the course today at $69 before it goes out. If you're watching this, most likely I'm in the meditation retreat, so most likely I will be praying for all of you guys. And just click on the description down below of the video. Right there, you'll see it, and you could pre-order that course. It's gonna be out by the end of next month or the beginning of February of March. One of the two, people, because I have a 10-day retreat to do, and I want to finish the course after the retreat, because I think the ideas are gonna be so much better. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Pre-order, man. I'm closing the channel.